at the end of the last series is that Caesar died after he saved his clan and raided the desert and made sure that they would live there after him. We also said at the end of the series that, of course, my friend, humans are nothing after Caesar and the apes fought with them, but you can say that what is left of them will live without humanity and will be like animals, and this is all the reason for the virus that is officially in the works. It spread everywhere and made them lose speech, understanding, and perception, and they remained like animals. Very, 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 very good. Before I can tell you anything that happened after all this talk, I would like to tell you that when Morris, Rocky, and all the monkeys died, they held a funeral for him, and they all mourned for their leader, and then they fell in love in his corpse. They will officially have a long life, remembering what Caesar said, which is that the longer the monkeys are together, the stronger they will remain. But sir, I am sold on everything that happened. These are generations on their own. I mean, you can say that it has passed, for example, 50 or 100 complete years, and now I still find 3 monkeys like that sitting at his place. These mountain monkeys are Noah, the eldest, and also En's friend, and their friend, the second monkey, Sona. The 3 of them. Today we're searching for the eagle's nest to, of course, take the eagle eggs from it. No, this my friend, so that we understand everything. Whoa. He is Anu, he is Anaya, and Sona is from a clan like this. Their name is the Answer clan, and each one of them is thus when he reaches puberty, he raises an eagle from a young age, and it remains at its will. They are now close to reaching this age, so they are now bringing an egg for each of them. Then this egg hatches, and the eagle comes out and finds that he or Anaya is in his face. He thinks that this is his mother and loves him forever. He would prefer to be linked to him for his long life. Very well. The important thing is that everyone now lives like this, but Leo has only 3 eggs. The law of their clan is that no matter how old they get, they do not take all the eggs that are found at the eagle's nest, and they must leave at least 1 egg above it if he sacrifices himself. He decided not to scratch. It was an egg, and his friends were the ones who took it, but he, my friend, was very sad because his appearance would remain very ugly as he reached this age without having an egg. Now, by chance, he looked in front of him. Why, by chance, was there another life of an eagle? So recklessly, he started climbing the mountain until he reached the nest. He took an egg from him, but the mother eagle came now and attacked him. He was Conan. He would have fallen off the mountain and died had it not been for God's protection and the ability to hold on to a branch like this. The matter turned out to be fine. After a while, they would all come down from the mountain and they would be fine. They would go back to their village and return to their village, so they all stayed for now. Cover belonging to one of them has disappeared, and now someone is moving in the forest behind them, and everyone wants to run after this limit, so everyone left the cover and entered the other side of the valley. The idea here is that it's forbidden for the Eagle clan to cross the second side of the valley because it means danger, and therefore they are now taking everyone. They quickly and immediately mount their mounts and completely forget about the situation and return to their nest after a while. When they reach every place in the Vulture clan, we find, my friend, that the clan here is very coexistent, and they all know how to talk and also build buildings. And their lives have become much better than the village of a long time ago. In general, now Noah went to meet his mother, so I reassured him and I reassured him. He brought a victory egg for their celebration that would happen tomorrow, but after she checked on him, she told him to go out to his father to see him. And she found out that he didn't want to go out to his father because his relationship with his father was not the best, but in general, I mean, we took some of him for now and he went out to his father at the top of the big building located in the middle of the street. Village belongs to the nest. By the way, Noah, his father, is the leader of the whole clan in general. I mean, after a while, Noah arrived with his father, and his father was a breeder of very many eagles, including an eagle whose name is the Master of Eagles. He does not like Noah very much, but in general, Noah's father now greeted his son and reassured that he had brought eggs because the celebration will be tomorrow. But at this moment, Abu Nu smelled the scent of the sons of Adam. He immediately saw the blanket he had with him and learned everything that had happened to him and that someone had taken it from him. Then he disappeared and returned again to the other side of the valley, and the father said to his son, "This smell is the smell of a human being, and this means that the one who took this cover from you is a human being, and we humans have not seen many of them for a very long time, and most of them are behind the valley in that they are crossing the valley. This is a danger to us." But Abu Nu now took the cover from his son and started talking to his assistants so that they can go and expel any humans from A now, and now he loves to eavesdrop and see them. What were they talking about? But his father's assistant, Ayuda, stopped and prevented him, so Noah walked away and got out of the room and sat with his friends, talking. At this moment, when Noah sat with his friends, he was surprised that his father was now sending Ayuda because he wanted people to leave the friend's house, and he did not understand what danger there was in the first place. Humans around them, and also note, my friend, on the side of this so that we can still understand everything. Most of the ticks in the current period do not know many things about humans because, as I told you, there is a difference in time except between the past and now. So now most people do not understand many things about. The important thing is that people now pass the situations and do work in the village all night long. At the end of the day, he feels that the same person who took the blanket from him in the morning is watching me. He is near the place where he feels he is. He finds a girl and comes after her, so the girl runs away completely. Unfortunately, during this conversation, his egg is lost. Noah is breaking his head now, and he goes to his friends, and he is upset and does not know what to do. The celebration is over. How many hours before him and will start, and everyone must have an egg with him so that it hatches and remains an eagle in front of everyone, and Tanu does not feel harsh at all, and he tells Sona and Anya that he will now take his horse and go back to the forest again, and he will not return to the village unless he has it with him. Another eagle's egg, but he took some and walked away, preferring that he was walking and walking and walking a lot. Why didn't he have any fruit? Why were they fighting with each other? He walked towards the sound and got down on his horse. He found that two masked monkeys had been killed. Suddenly they came into the room behind him, and he was breathing his last and then said to run away. He fell dead because he was the second one to be killed, and he hid that he was behind the trees because he heard the sound of a very large number of monkeys coming, and indeed a large group of monkeys gathered now, all of them masked, and with them was their assistant leader, whose name is Silva. When he saw the monkey, one of the masked men, being killed, and a dead man beside them, and in his hand was a smelly blanket, Bani Admin knew all along that Oda was here, and when he saw the masked monkeys being mad, he killed them. The idea here is that when Silva also smells the blanket that Oda had with him, he thinks that he was hiding Bani Admin with him, and Fran looks in front of him and finds the horse that belongs to Noah, so that this horse belongs to Oda. His father turns white and runs for a horse to the village, and he runs away, so Silva is the second one. He takes all his men and runs after the horse. Norma sees what happened. It is very crazy. He knows that Silva and his soldiers will finish off all the people of the village and he will reach it, so he quickly runs to the village to warn everyone. But unfortunately, when he arrives, he finds Silva arriving before him, and the whole village is terrified, and Silva kidnaps everyone and kills every monkey in front of him. What is strange about the matter is that a worker says for the sake of Caesar, that he did not understand what Silva said at all, and what is more difficult than that is that he did not know who to save or whom, but his mother and his friends quickly untangled them. But a masked monkey came and was killing him. The mother and his friends caught him and continued to fight with him, and the mother said, "Your father has found Sada," so he took some of it. He immediately went to his father, and there he was working to untie all the eagles that were tied to him, because the place was very hot, so he decided to help with him until he did not untie them. All of them, unfortunately, at that time, Silva entered upon them. The first time Silva entered, he caught Abu No, and he started hitting him violently. Then he entered Silva and tried to keep him away from his father. He started throwing Silva from above as he was clinging to his wire, and he would fall. So Silva grabbed Abu No in front of his son and stepped on him, and then he ran over the wire. The one Noah was attached to fell unconscious. After a while of all this, Noah rises up again and finds the entire village destroyed and the whole place is empty. But he also finds a horse in front of him, and he also finds an electric spear belonging to the masked monkey thrown on the ground, so he takes it. But now he also finds the eagle, the master of eagles, circling. We are around his father's body in Beirut now. It is his father's body, and he keeps crying. Don't think that his father is tearing his nose up, and they promise that he will find whoever did this to him and hold him accountable. He will return to their group again to the village, but he takes his horse and goes on his way to look for this Friday. Unfortunately, why is it now that he found their footprints? It leads to what is beyond the valley, so he took control of it. Even though the law says that he does not cross the valley, he is forced to cross the valley, and here he discovers that what is beyond the valley is the city, in which people used to live for a very long time, but now it has become barren and almost destroyed in general. He continues that he is walking, and in the middle of the road, he finds his mother's scarf thrown on the ground, so he realizes that he is on the right path. He takes the scarf and is upset. Then he decides to go camp because the night is a cold night. He feels that the girl who is always in the dust is still in the dust until now. In general, the next day he wakes up to the voice of the master of eagles, his father's eagle. What he thinks is that it is possible for the master of eagles to have his eagle in his father's place, so he will continue to sing for him, exactly as his father used to do. The master of eagles is eyeing and running as evidence, which means that you're not like your father. The important thing is that he continues to walk as usual, following the path of footsteps, and this time he finds smoke from a distance in Beirut towards him. This smoke had an electric spear in its hand until it reached the place of the smoke, but one time I fell to the ground beneath it. He also fell on a branch like this and then on the ground and found himself falling next to a corpse that was being burned. At that moment a monkey appeared and pinned Noah with the spear that he hadn't said to him. I came to him. What are you doing? He said to him. No, what exactly do you mean? The monkey said to him, aren't you following the masked monkey and you are coming to kill him? I am the second one. So he said to him, no, they kidnapped my clan and I'm following this monkey's head for nothing more than that. At this moment, Noah knew that his name was Raka, and that he lives here with his friend, but a group of masked monkeys saw him and killed him, and I was here hiding books, because books are a treasure that not everyone understands. And Noah said to him, I heard this group, and they were with us, saying, who is this Caesar for? You don't know. So he started watching him now, turning Noah around and talking for him. Everything remains for you to know that this place was a place where Caesar's group lived after him, and they coexisted with humans, and he was very helpful as well. As for Caesar, he was the leader who gave the apes a name and brought them together, but the leader of the masked apes is nothing but a false name and nothing more. Thus, he had no final relationship with Caesar. After that, Raka showed him the necklace that belonged to Caesar, which he was currently wearing, and they knew that this was the symbol that belonged to Caesar, and I was wearing it for the best reason. I remember that humans and apes can live together, and I am following Caesar's plan, and any human being I see him trying to help him. And note, my friend, if not, do you remember this symbol well? It is the symbol of the window of Caesar's room, which he was raised in. When he was young, he usually finishes his speech now and takes a nod to his horse to say goodbye to it. while it is walking, but when he sees the girl again, he pouts at her, so the girl runs away. This is why Rak got angry and said to him, "Why did you do that? We should help her because humans have almost become extinct a long time ago, and what remains are poor and do not know how to do anything. It is just this girl who has been seeing my son for a long time, and I am tired of her. Raka is watching you, that's it. I will come with you now. I can reach this girl and be able to help her." He actually took a horse Raka and went out with Noah, and they preferred to stay all the way. They talked to each other and tried to get to know each other more and more. After a while, at the end of the night, Raka and Noah's camp. At this time, the girl approaches them again. Here, Raka kept throwing apples at her for the sake of eating, so she stayed near the girl and she sat eating while she was on it. Raka was very cold, so he took Noah's father's scarf and just gave it to her. The girl continued to eat and keep herself warm, and she began to enjoy these two monkeys more and more, and here he decided to call her Raka after Noah, and he said that history says that these monkeys preferred throughout their lives to call any human being whose name they did not know by the name Nova, which means that he would imitate him in general. After a while, he slept in Raka, but Noah continued to wander here and there. Suddenly, he found a very gigantic telescope in his face, and from it he kept looking into space, and he was literally amazed by what he saw. It was the first time in his life that he had seen a picture of space, but suddenly he found that a nova had come behind the second one and started looking out of the telescope, and it was also blurry, and here he realized Noah is smarter than most people who are still alive. So one day I told Raka that Nova is very smart and showed that she understands Xena, but she gets annoyed. Of course, Raka did not believe him and told him to calm down, so Noah calmed down and took his horse and decided to continue on Raka's path. Before he continued with Noah, he offered Nova that she would come with them, so she agreed, so he mounted his horse and they all continued their journey together. After a while of walking, they all found a zebra standing on the side. It was the first time everyone saw a zebra, so they started looking at it. It means that there is a whole herd there, and the strangest thing is that they are mine. A second piece of humanity was standing in all its primitiveness and drinking from the lake as if they were animals. At Nova, it seemed that she was upset at what the human race had become, but here he decided that he was done to leave her with her family who were like her, and he continued his way, greeting him and saying to him, "I will follow in Caesar's footsteps, and I want he will leave these people here." Although he made them happy, protected them, and left him unemployed. After that, he saw the Caesar chain on his mantle, so Noah took it and walked away. The problem here is that after Noah walked away, Silva and all his men arrive at the place and immediately begin kidnapping and killing the people present in every place. Of course, his workers are terrified. She knows what to do, and of course she broke up with Racket. That time, Noah saw from afar what was happening and saw that Nova was running, so she hid him and he kept running to her to help her. As for Nova, all the people like her were either killed or kidnapped, and she was the only one who had still not arrived. Silva had not arrived, and he was looking for her at the time. Nova, she saw Noah from afar and wanted to help him, so with a loud voice she stood up and regretted it, and here everyone was surprised that human beings knew how to speak at this moment. Silver ran at her to kill her, and while he ran at her, he was the second one to save her. At the last moment, he grabbed it and ran with his horse immediately, but the instant one suddenly appeared with his horse. He hit the remaining two monkeys away from Noah, Nova, and the two servants, and they all fled from the place. After a while, when they had kept everyone away from all these things, they stood aside, and Noah was very surprised. Nova was kneeling. I saw Nova talking while he was kneeling. He would say to him, "You are just imagining. For sure. It's impossible that she knows how to speak." She went and said, "Nova, I don't call myself Nova. My name is my Dotted." This moment, they were all shocked that she really knew how to speak, and they stayed with her to understand what this was about. Mai told them that she knew how to speak, and she was afraid to speak in front of them because she meant that she was not grateful to them, but she was strong. Now she will talk normally to them because she is no longer afraid of them and she knows them. She also knows the place where Silda took Noah's clan because she was originally going there for something that she will not tell them about now. Of course, after what happened, everyone was very surprised, but they did not go away and sleep for the next day. All took each other and continued walking until they reached the bridge. It was crossing over a fire. When they all started to cross from it, Hope, Silva, and his men came out to them and started attacking Noah. The problem was also that someone tried to kidnap Mai and Wat in the river, and Dobuk was caught in a net at the time. He tried to catch him. He found out that he had no furniture, so he went into the river and took it out, and he was still going to try. He was the second one. One of the mastics came and cut the rope and left him dying in the river, and of course it was water, especially since he was going to die from sadness for him, because they remained friends. In general, after what happened, they took Noah and Nova, and now he went with them to the kingdom of. Later, when Noah and Mai arrived, he was very surprised by the place, because the place is literally a monkey kingdom, and there are a lot of monkeys in it. In general, he took Silva and Mai and took her to a place, but he freed everyone, and they let him go out and sit with the rest of the monkeys in the kingdom. When he saw that he had most of the monkeys, those here are building a dam in the place to prevent the kingdom from sinking, because the kingdom overlooks the sea. Of course, Noah did not care about all this, not caring that why. Now Sona was in front of him. He was very happy and greeted her. Sona took him to his mother. Noah was very happy and took his mother in his arms, but Mai took it now. Silva took her up to a room like this. It looked tidy and nice. So I looked in it, my right and left. I found a human being who came out of this room, and his name is Trevisan. Trevisan welcomed Mai very much and kept trying to get to know. Of course, during this period, there were not many people who talked, but Mai did not. Tata really loves to talk to him very much because he is a human being who helps the monkeys here and lives as their servants, or you can say as a slave to Alice. Trevisan will make her understand that this is the current reality and she must be satisfied with it. Everyone now has whistles with a very loud voice and drums beating in every place, so she saw water with Trevisan from why are all the apes standing now, greeting the leader of the kingdom here, Commander Proxy. Moss, Caesar. Yes, that's why Silva was saying that. For Caesar's sake, he meant it here for his leader. The important thing is that Samus came out of the way and was standing in the middle of all the apes, and he kept making them feel that Caesar was serious. Then an order was given to Silva that he should open the door. Giant door, Fada Silva, and all the soldiers are trying to open this door in every way, and they are also trying to open it. But unfortunately, they fail because the door is gigantic and difficult for them to open. Proxim calmed down, took some of it, and went back to his place. At this time, she said to C. Vasen, is it you who is trying to help them open this door? You don't know that. This door leads to a basement of what remains of the army's technology and weapons before the army falls in the old days, and if there is a promise in the hands of Proximo, it is impossible for humans to come back again, and he will be able to take what is left of it. Give it to her, Travis. You are living in an illusion, and it is impossible for humans to return again. As they walked away at this time, Silva went down to Noah's cheek and went with him to Proximo. When he entered Proximos, Lee, May and Vasen saw the two of them sitting with him, and Noah also told me that Anna was standing here and taking Proximos, and he was upset because of course he wanted to dress like servants. And now Proxim and Noah sat down and said to him, I heard that he's very smart, and that's why I need your help. You know, Hanu, why am I currently licking the monkeys from all over the place? Because Caesar in the past said that when we stay together, we become much stronger, and that's why I hate the idea of the clan and hedge these things, and I want us all to remain monkeys together after that. Why do you hear knew about a theory like this? It is called the theory of evolution. This theory, I believe, will happen to us as alone, and that one day I will remain very developed, just as humans were developed in the past. But the problem is that all of this will take time, and I want to see this development with my own eyes before I die, and therefore I knew the giant door next to us was deposited in a giant vault filled with weapons and technology from before the end of humanity. Now, if we opened this door and took everything from inside, we would be greatly improved. Moments later, Proximus continued and said to him, "Do you know who you were walking with all this way? I don't think he was telling you the truth." Then Proximus took out a map and said, "This is May's map." She was with about a dozen people, and they were all talking exactly like her, and they were all on a specific mission to this basement, and I wanted to go to all of them and find out how they would open that door, but they killed them all by mistake, and all that was left was Muh. That's why I was trying to convey to her that he was very surprised that Mai seemed to be laughing at him all this time and didn't tell him all that. Brooksma said to him, "Did she tell you while you were together about the way we opened the door?" He said, "Unfortunately it is." She didn't say anything, and she was also laughing at me. After Brooks Moss, the topic was cursing. Everyone is now walking away. After what happened, he sat kind of to himself and was sad. He was thinking about his father and the clan, and he also wrote that he was dead, and now he doesn't know what to do, and he sees that everything is over. But all of that changed when the master of the Eagles, Nano, came, and for the first time, Nano stood on his hand. This moment he was very happy, and his resolve returned once again to finish with Proximo and return his family to the village at the end of the day. At night, Nano took some of it and went to hide from May. At that time he said to her, "I know that you do not like to meet, and because of that, you were lying from the beginning for the sake of taking everything you wanted from you, so I woke up to him. I'm sorry, but I was afraid because miraculously I escaped from them from the beginning when they killed all my friends who were going with me for this mission. So I'm going to help you enter the basement, and I don't know what do you want from him, but tell me what happened when he did all this in the first place." So I told him that in the past, humans created a virus that made this reader much smarter, and this virus made humans like animals, and it affected most of them, and she currently wants to get a specific thing from this basement that will help bring back humans, as they used to do in the past. After hearing this, he was very surprised because it was the first time he heard this whole story, but in general he agreed and took it now. And they went out to implement their plan, but the first one took some of it and went to ask for help from Sana and Anya in Sana. Of course, she agreed, but Anya was afraid, so he refused to help her. He cursed Noah and took Sana, but he and Mai went to carry out the plan. Mai was still going to tell everyone about the plan. She found that Anya came to Noah and Sona and told them not to insult you. He decided to continue with them about the important thing. Mai started telling the plan to everyone, and he carried it out as well. At the same time, Mai started working on a lot of explosives and placing them with the monkeys. The one with her is on the dam that protects the entire kingdom, and everyone thought that they would now go to the basement through its back entrance. Then they would take the stuff inside and quickly go out and blow up the dam, so the water would enter its door and destroy everything inside. But they all agreed and placed the explosives, and they were still going to go to a knight who appeared from their back and heard them, and now he was saying, "Lemmy, I thought you were smart, but you turned out to be stupid, and now I'm going to tell Proximo and he will finish all of you." And he's still about to walk. My water grabbed him from the back and kept suffocating him until I finished with him. Literally after that, they all threw San's body into the water, took each other's parts, and went off toward the back door, and those who would enter, of course, would enter through the water, the way they were climbing a giant mountain. They all started to climb that mountain. And after a while, when they reached the end, they found a ventilation outlet in the basement. Through it, they all entered and were able to finally reach the inside of the basement itself. At this moment, she turned on the electric cable in every room in the place. Then she turned everyone on and began to get what she needed, knew, and everyone kept wandering here and there and watching the place, which was very strange for them. Mai now went to the control room, and there she took a hard disk containing very important data. Then she came out to Nu and said to him, "I'm done. I took what I wanted. Let's go." They all went toward the basement door and got ready. As soon as they opened the door, they destroy the dam while everyone is sleeping and the place is flooded, and of course the ticks will be safe. But what happened here is that as soon as May opened the door, she found that Brooks Moss was in her face because the morning had come and all the ticks were standing in front of the door. Brooks Moss, when he entered now and saw the basement with all its weapons and the technology that was in it, he was shocked and happy that he was able to fulfill his dream. But then he caught a Suna and decided to kill it in front of Noah, in order to punish him for everything he intended to do. At that moment, a gun came out like this and she brought it from inside and hit the monkey who was holding the Suna and killed him. Then she gave Noah a look, telling him, "I'm sorry," and ran. I blew up the dam, and of course he did not want it at all. The dam was supposed to explode and none of the monkeys would be harmed, but now the water is crossing the dam and many monkeys are dying, and only a small part is able to enter the cellar and hide. But unfortunately the water also entered the cellar and began killing what was left of the monkeys, and of course she sees everything she did from afar and she is upset. But the important thing is that she did not allow Brooks Moss to reach all the weapons inside him. No, he and his clan were the ones who were able to enter the first cellar. They kept escaping and running here and there while running out of water, and the matter was very difficult because the iron was cold and the weapons that were there. She was in the place and started moving and knocking over everyone, but in general, it means that he was able to get them all out and he was still going to go out with them. Why Silva? So he quickly left everyone and started fighting with him until in the end he was left drenched in a narrow space and the water drowned him and he died, and Nu took some of it and went out to his mother and everyone was on his way. Ventilation outlet is in the place, but the problem is that when he first appeared, he had Brooks Moss in his face, and all the while he started grabbing his kind, fighting with it, and hitting it with all his might, while he was telling him, "Do you think that when humans cooperate with them, they will have mercy on you? They will not leave anything behind except when they return to Earth." To them a second time ago, when we returned to Ubaid, then Brooks Moss asked him to kneel for him and have mercy on him, so he looked that he was in the sky. Why did the eagles immediately start singing to them, as his father used to do a long time ago? So all the eagles got excited and started singing for the eagles. All the eagles came and caught Brooks Moss and continued to bite him. And in the end, the Lord of the Eagles came and threw it from above. And of course Brooks Moss fell into the sea, and most likely died. And with that, my friend, the story ends, and Noah is fine. After a while of all this, we find Noah returning with his clan again to their village, and of course, they started building it from the beginning and from scratch, and Noah is the leader. And you can say that we are living happily. At this moment, he noticed that from afar, Mai was standing and he was happy for her. She was coming to say goodbye to him. Was upset with her because of her movement. Many of his monkeys had died, she said to him, but this earth belongs to humans from the beginning, not yours. He said to her, no meaning. Would you like us to go back? Just animals so that you can relax. Brooks Moss was right when he said that you will not be silent until you take everything from us and return to being mere slaves. So he entered and brought the Caesar chain that was with him and handed it to her so that she would think that humans and apes could live together instead of thinking what she was thinking about. May's sister snatched it from him and she was impressed. Although, by the way, In the beginning, she was afraid of Noah and holding a gun in her back, but now she calmed down, took the chain and walked. When she walked, my friend, she took a horse like this and went with it in the desert, an underground shelter, and at the door of that shelter one came out to her, and she was wearing a suit, from which she took the horse. I took it from the basement, then I said goodbye to her and I went back to the refuge with this woman and immediately inserted this heart into a telecommunications device. It worked very well, and this device worked because, by the way, this is a global telecommunications device that would not have worked without its decryption, and it is broken now when you put the government hard drive inside it that you took. My is from the grave. And now these people are able to communicate with the remaining human beings around the whole world. Anyone who has a wireless device can communicate with him, and Mai is standing outside right now in front of the communication dishes, knowing that what is coming is much stronger than everything that was before. Please note, my friend, before I close the video with you, I would like to explain to you that all the people in the shelter here have not left since the time of the virus that happened a very long time ago, and they multiplied together inside the shelter and did not leave outside at all. The biggest evidence of this is that May was not wearing any protective suit when she met the woman, but this woman was the one who took, including the hard drive. She was wearing a protective suit because, of course, she was afraid of the virus, and of course it was important to Mai from the beginning that she bring this hard drive to people so that they can communicate with humans and come back together again and stay together and return the earth to them from the monkeys. How will this happen and what will he do? Unfortunately, still, we don't know because the movie has finished and the second part has not yet been produced. Note that the monkey we saw falling into the river and we thought he was almost dead is still alive because we heard his voice at the end of the entire movie until the new part comes out, and we are sure of all this. I can't tell you anything other than that. So bye now, see you in new next summaries.